You're fine.
Technology, you gotta look. Okay, so welcome. So we'll go ahead and get started with roll call. John Adams.
Here.
Chris Bartley. Ellen Chadwick. Billy Finn. Jennifer Hammond, who's on her way. Andrew Henry. Hi. Herb Hess.
Here.
Jim Hopwood.
Barely here.
You made it though, that's all that matters. Deanna Jenkins. Here. Kent Johnson.
Here.
Rhonda Jones. Steva Coffis. Kim Minton. Morgan Moran is not here yet. Jordan Ray.
Here.
Tish Robertson. Ben Spittler.
Here.
Leslie Vanderpool. Connie Vincent is present. Taylor Wright. And Rachel White is online. Okay. We do have quorum, even though we are missing a few, but we do have quorum. The agenda and the meetings were sent out, the monthly meeting minutes. Yeah, it's been a crazy one. Were sent out for discussion. Is there any changes to that? Any discussion? Okay, I need a call for order for approval of the prior monthly meeting minutes. Okay. Second. Okay. All in favor? I say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the meeting minutes were approved. Up next is our Christopher Ware Staff Star Award. Senator Ray.
Good morning, and thank you all for joining us today. It's my pleasure to introduce one of our most meaningful recognitions, the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award. This award was created in honor of Christopher Ware, whose dedication, passion, and exceptional service have left a lasting impact on our community. The Staff Star Award is designed to celebrate those individuals who consistently go above and beyond in their roles, demonstrating outstanding commitment, teamwork, and excellence. These individuals embody the spirit of service that Chris represented, and through their hard work and dedication, they inspire all of us. This month's recipients have made remarkable contributions that have made a significant difference for our students and our colleagues. It's with great admiration that we recognize their efforts, and we're truly grateful for the energy and passion that they bring to their roles. I'd like to start today by recognizing Nick Lamontina. Nick is the Director of Football Recruiting. He's unable to join us today, but I did want to share the nomination words from Jeray Thurman, the Director of Player Personnel for Football, who nominated Nick. Jeray said, "I highly recommend Nick Lamontina for recognition due to his exceptional contributions to WKU and his unwavering commitment to the university's mission and values. As an alumnus of WKU and a proud Kentuckian, Nick embodies the spirit of our institution and serves as an outstanding ambassador for the university. Nick's dedication to his work is evident in every aspect of his role. His tireless efforts and innovative approaches have significantly enhanced the success of our programs and the experience of those that he interacts with daily. He takes great pride in representing WKU, fostering strong relationships, and upholding the university's reputation in all of his endeavors. As someone deeply rooted in Kentucky, Nick's passion for serving his community and alma mater is inspiring. His ability to connect with people on a personal level, combined with his professional excellence, make him an excellent role model for others in the WKU community. Recognizing Nick Lamontia not only honors his remarkable contributions, but also celebrates the values and commitment that make WKU an exceptional institution." So I'd like to say thank you to Jeray for helping us to celebrate Nick, and congratulations to Nick on this very richly deserved award. Thank you. Next, we would like to recognize Tommy Newton. Tommy is the Assistant Director of Media Relations and Communications and Marketing. He was nominated for the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award by Jeff Younglove. Jeff's not able to join us today, but he had so many nice and celebratory things to say about Tommy. Here today to share some remarks is Andrea Hales of the Communication and Marketing Office.
I want to share a few things about Tommy's long history and connection to WKU. Tommy is a proud first-generation graduate, graduating from WKU in 1984 with majors in journalism and history government. He met his wife, Tracy, who is here with us today, here at WKU. And Tommy worked as a newspaper reporter and editor from 1984 to 1999 at 4 papers, including the Bowling Green Daily News and the Owensboro Messenger Inquirer, before starting his career in the Office of Media Relations here at WKU in 1999. Now, after 26 years at the university, he's retiring at the end of this month. Finally, his daughter Shelby is a 2017 WKU graduate who went on to earn both her master's and rank 1 here at WKU. Second, a few fun facts about our Tommy. And some of these I learned just yesterday since Jeff couldn't be here. We had a little meeting yesterday afternoon. Our former director of media relations, Bob Skipper, actually worked for Tommy at the Bowling Green Daily News before Tommy worked for Bob at WKU. I didn't know that. So Tommy is living proof why it's so important to never burn bridges as you go along the way. Then Tommy and Bob decided it was a great idea to both run for city commissioner of Woodburn at the same time in 2004. Again, did not know this. So they tied in the race with 58 votes each. And apparently the winner was determined by a coin flip. So Bob took the role, and then 2 years later, he was succeeded by Tommy. Finally, from what I've been told, one of Tommy's most infamous stories took place a few years ago during the faculty staff summer golf tournament, when an incident occurred between him and a duck on the 7th par 3 hole at Crosswinds. So if you don't know the full story, sometime catch Jeff Younglove to give you the full account. On a more serious note, it has been a pure joy and pleasure to work with Tommy during the last several years. While most of you have worked with Tommy at some point during his almost 3-decade career at WKU, you may not know just how critical he is to our university. He is an extraordinarily gifted writer who creates more content than any of us could ever imagine. He tells and shares the stories of WKU and who we are as an institution. He is no doubt an expert in his field. And if he ever gently reminded you that you did not place your event on the WKU events calendar, just know that he was just doing his job, because he can't tell your story or our story if we don't know about it. Tommy, I can't think of anyone more deserving of the Staff Star Award than you. So on behalf of the communications and marketing team and all those here in this room and across the university, congratulations on the Staff Star Award. Congratulations on your retirement. And we look forward to Tracy giving you her Star Award in the next few months as you spend a lot of time together. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Tommy, and thank you so much to Andrea and Jeff for recognizing his hard work. Lastly, but certainly not least, we would like to recognize as our 3rd Christopher Ware Staff Star Award winner for this month, Jared Smith, who's the office coordinator for the Department of Psychological Sciences. Jared was nominated by Madonna May. She was not able to join us today, but I would like to share her remarks. If you have had a chance to work with Jared, you would understand the words Baby Friday. Working with Jared is always encouraging, and he always gives encouragements on Baby Friday, which is our Thursdays. He's always there saying we've almost made it through the week and asks how your week has been. He's always asking if there's anything he can offer to help with or to do to take some of the burden off. He has the best attitude towards completing his work and tries to be a few steps ahead if possible. He's there for the students, faculty, and staff, and that is why he deserves this recognition. He is an encourager and a hard worker. Thank you, Jared, for all that you do. And I would also now like to welcome to the front to say a few words about Jared, Dr. Birch from the Department of Psychological Sciences.
Hello, everybody. Jared doesn't remember this, but we actually started at the same time in 2018. I was a tenure track professor at the time, and Jared was a brand new office coordinator in psych sciences. And he was the first person I worked with to get my moving reimbursement handled. And he, as a brand new office coordinator, it was a challenge, and he was able to support me every step of the way. And that was my first experience with Jared, brand new on the job. I don't want to wax poetic because I could probably take up the entire time allotment talking about Jared and everything he's done and everything he continues to do for the department and the university and the college. But I can think of nobody more deserving of this award than Jared Smith. We often say, and we've been saying it a little bit more lately, that he should be our department chair. We've had a lot of turnover in our department at the leadership level in the last couple of years. And I strongly believe and know that the only reason we continue to be able to function cohesively as a unit is because of the constant and unwavering support of Jared Smith. He, like Madonna May said, and I'm sure everybody can attest, he is there for you. He makes our lives easier just by being in the front office. He creates a sense of community. He creates a sense of collegiality. He's always there to chat. If you just need to chat, he plays a mean playlist every day. And he creates a sense of community around brewing a good cup of coffee, and is always willing to put on a half pot in the afternoon if we need that extra push towards the day's end. Madonna talks about Baby Friday, but I'll talk about High Five Friday. If it's Friday, you come into the front office and he says, "Hey, High Five Friday," he'll give you a high five. And usually he's got some donuts waiting for us as well. And these are just kind of the little things he does to create a sense of community. Beyond that, though, like Madonna May said, he goes above and beyond, often doing more than his job description requires to make everybody's lives a little bit easier and a little bit brighter. So you're talking about dedication, teamwork, community. There's nobody that embodies that more than Jared Smith.
Jared also had a second nomination this month for this award. So I would like to invite Dr. Gordon Bayless to say a few words about Jared.
Okay, well, there's probably not a whole lot to add, but I've had this ridiculously long career. I'm ridiculously old, and I've been everywhere and I've done everything, but I've never honestly been in a department that's been so much fun and so well run. And the bottom line is, Jared's a huge part of that. Jared just does way beyond his job. Now, on the subject of doing one's job, I just want to enter into the record that whenever a star award is given, other people perhaps should consider what job they're doing. By other people, I mean the people who decide the salary of people like Jared. And yes, I'm talking about Dr. Brown, our dean. Should Jared be paid more? Yes. Simple answer. Should other star awardees be paid more? I don't know, but I do know in this case, Dean Brown needs to get busy doing his job. All right, thank you.
Congratulations again to Nick and to Tommy and to Jared. Thank you all so much for helping us celebrate them. If you know anyone, if you work with anyone who you think goes above and beyond, who makes the day easier for you, for the students, who helps us in our mission, please go to our website and nominate them for the Staff Star Award so that we can recognize them and bring their work to life. Thank you very much.
You guys are welcome to leave. We can let you guys, but thank you so much for supporting and coming in and supporting your fellow coworkers.
One day, shit will come in.
So we do have guest speakers from Aramark. Do we have them?
I think they're outside.
Okay, that's, hey, I said 10:30. They need to wait, that's fine, but.
I'll check. I think they're just waiting outside. I'll check.
Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and start with them. That's fine. So we'll go ahead and get that started and then we will do the reports.
Where would you like us?
It's anywhere. Are you guys all gonna be talking or?
No, they volunteered me to do that.
Here in the
Yeah,
front?
just-
Yeah, and then if you wanna.
I'll introduce everybody.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yes, thank you.
How you doing?
Good, nice to meet you. We have Aramark here and whenever you are ready.
How is everybody? Appreciate y'all inviting us to attend the staff senate. You know, and answer some of the questions that were sent to us. And then really tell you a little bit about what we do and maybe plan this once a year so that you know what we've got going on campus. So I'm Robert Huffman. My title they've given me is Resident District Manager. Means I oversee everything food related to the restaurant group, both on campus, concessions and catering. I am a 1985 graduate of Western, so I think I'm the oldest one in the room. Always fun to know. I have been in this role for 5 years. Today is my 5th anniversary, so if you think about it, 1 week pre-COVID, I started in this role, so don't do a lot. Don't do a lot. But I do have some folks here with me. We'll start with Shanda is our Director of Operations. Shanda, how many years have you been at Western?
25 years.
And she is also a graduate of Western. Chef Gill.
23.
Chef Gill, and he's our executive chef here on campus. Nina.
I'm also a WKU grad. I've been with Aramark for 27 years. I've been here with the restaurant group for about 23 years.
Tiffany Blackman is our food service director.
I've been with Aramark 16 years.
And Kelsey Murphy is our director of Hilltopper Nutrition.
Also WKU grad, probably not here as long, so I've been here for 3 years.
So well represented Hilltoppers. We also have 400 other employees that help us. We support them as They provide hospitality and food service to all of our students in the WKU community. We also, in that 400, it's about 150 to 170 student employees and interns. So we do keep quite a few of our students employed on campus. And they work throughout campus, have some in marketing, have some in Hilltopper Nutrition, and pretty much in every one of our restaurants, we've got a student working. So it's exciting. Some stuff about the restaurant group. You know, everybody knows Fresh Food Company's downstairs, but we also have 18 retail restaurants and then 2 C-stores that are on campus. Those include 5 coffee shops. Everybody likes to know how many coffee shops we have. Most people think of Starbucks and Spencer's, but we also have Einstein's, Java City, Da Vinci's, which is on top of the hill. It's called Eco Grounds. And then, is that all of it? Einstein's, did I mention Einstein? And then we also have some local partners. Eiffel is out of Lexington, our pizza company that's in the Commons, and then also Spencer's. And we partner with 4 vendors in town. So we've got El Maz that most people know about because it's right by MAC. Donato's, students can order through them and they help us in concessions as well. Waken Bakery downtown, and then 30 Bird. So those are partners that we have that students can use their meal plan dollars for as well. Concessions, we're all over campus. The Smith Stadium, Diddle Arena, quite a bit here lately. The baseball field, soccer, softball complex, track and field, and is that it? No, there's a lot of them, but they keep us busy. And then with that, we have also partners, Cheney's, Rita's, Donato's, Annie Ann's. So we have a lot of local folks that help us provide those things. We also work with nonprofit organizations. The Gospel Group is very popular and they come to a lot of events for us. And in South Warren, we have lacrosse, tennis, and softball. And this is a little plug. If you've got a group that's looking to raise money, they can work with us, go through our NPO process and be approved. The South Warren programs have earned quite a bit of money for their different athletic teams to raise some money and pay for uniforms, equipment, things like that. We've also got Local Restaurant Row. If you haven't heard of our Local Restaurant Row, that's our group that manages our food trucks. We have 26 food trucks that are part of that. We don't bring a lot of food trucks to campus, but when we do, they have to go through that process where they are certified to where they've got health department permits, they've been inspected, they have a ServSafe certified manager on board, they have a local business permit. So we just make sure that they are true to any restaurant that we would have on campus. And then if you mark it on avenues next week, we have several other local vendors that participate in that. If you haven't been to one, I'd encourage you to come out. We have some food options. We have crafts and different things educational for our students. Faculty and staff are always welcome. And then if you haven't seen, we've got a big red snack trailer. It's normally parked over behind the supply service centers if it's not in use. So it doesn't have any cooking equipment in it. So we call it a snack trailer just so we can pull it up and do some fun things for our students. Hilltopper Nutrition, Kelsey and Amber and their student teams do a lot across campus, either providing healthy option training or nutritional consults to students. They also do some tabling events. This is National Nutrition Month, so they were downstairs yesterday. Just trying to do a lot of different things for our students and keep them well educated on nutritional things. Sustainability, if you haven't seen the big banner over Fresh Food, a lot of people just walk right by it, but it's a green certified restaurant. We're at a level 3, which means we have passed quite a few of the certifications to get at that level. And then Chick-fil-A is also a green certified restaurant. Hilltopper was what? We do collect compost at all of our restaurants. A lot of people are not aware of that, as well as nicely at the catering and then all of our concession stands. So a lot of composting that we do. We recycle cardboard, we reclaim and recycle our used cooking oil. If you're not familiar with all of our restaurants, the ones that, have fryers, we reclaim that and refilter it, use it as many times as possible. And then we do catch it, and we have a company that comes and collects it and recycles it. We've eliminated styrofoam from campus. I think we had a couple of restaurants that they had to find products for us so that they would work, so that we could get styrofoam off campus as well. We do purchase quite a few things through some local vendors. We do purchase some Kentucky Proud products. There's not a lot available to us at the level of amount of food that we need, but we do buy popcorn, hot dogs, flour, catfish is locally grown for us, some produce, ground beef, and some meats through Hampton Meats here locally. Some fun facts. You guys always like fun facts, right? We have about 9,000 to 10,000 students on our meal plans, from whether it's either the flex or commuters, all the way up to our all access VIPs. So we do get quite a few we call them voluntary. It's not mandatory. So if you're not a resident, more voluntary meal plans than we do residential. So that's pretty positive, and it shows what a great job our team are doing for our students. We serve anywhere from 8,000 to 11,000 transactions a day across campus. That includes at Fresh Food, we'll have anywhere from 1,500 to 2,300 meals served a day out of Fresh. Chick-fil-A is probably the next largest, and they do about 1,500 transactions a day. Some of those students eat there twice, maybe 3 times a day. Moe's, about 600 meals in a 4-hour period. Panda Express, a little over 600. So it just continues to grow with our Grubhub mobile app, being able to serve more students than we have. And how many, I'll just tell you. In 2024, we served 2,209,000 guests. Wow. That sink in a little bit. Catering had 1,658 events throughout the year, serving over 109,000 guests. Kind of a big operation. And then one of the questions that we'll get to asked how many staff redeemed their bonus meals. Last year we had a little over 8,800. This week so far, beginning Saturday, we've served 148 of those bonus meals. So, okay. Some projects and happenings. If you don't get to Snell Hall, we just renovated our Da Vinci's cafe up in Snell Hall. That's opened in 2009, so it was definitely due for renovation. Simple Selection will be going through a renovation and transitioning from that name to True Balance, which is Aramark's allergen-free station, which is, we've been following True Balance, but there's just a few more things we'll be doing to bring that up to True Balance. This summer, we have 2 big projects going on. Starbucks will be closed a Monday after finals, and we'll be renovating Starbucks and also connecting with their POS systems called Connect and their mobile order system. So it'll be very similar to what they do in one of their street stores. We'll also be renovating Chick-fil-A this summer. It's not as big of a renovation as Starbucks, but it normally doesn't open in the summer except for a few days for AP teachers. So should be good. And it'll bring on their POS, and it's Grubhub kiosk. So it'll be kind of tied in with our system, but we'll be following their guidelines for mobile ordering. Along with Starbucks, we're also going to bring a temporary coffee kiosk, and it'll be set up in front of Burrito Bowl. So everybody that has a coffee fix, they can get that throughout the summer. Let me see. SNAP. We've been approved to offer SNAP benefits at our pod in Bates. We are working through the financial process and the accounting process to get all of that squared away. So Sometime in the next few months, we'll have SNAP benefits available to our students, faculty, and staff in the community. One of the other questions I think talked about, food insecurity and providing some free meals to students. We've been working with Dr. Roche and Dr. Sales, Dr. North with sustainability, Mr. Rash and the student activity group to provide, implement a program. So we're pretty close to rolling it out. It'll be called, I think, Swipe It Forward, where students can donate meal swipes and they'll be collected and housed somewhere. So students can ask for those and be able to have a free meal. We're doing something similar now. We provided free meal passes to the Dean of Students offices, HRL. So if they have students that approach them and are looking for a meal or need meal assistance, that they can provide those meals through Fresh Food. If you're not aware, Gordon Ford College of Business is building a new building. We are adding a coffee shop and cafe on the first floor. It should be open in the fall. It's going to look pretty nice. So it'll be right out on the first floor where you walk in, come around the corner, you'll see our new coffee. And then we've also added 8 new trash receptacles. If you've been in the food court, Red Zone, or Da Vinci's, these are the compaction transaction where you actually just wave your hand, the door opens, you put your product in there, and it'll smash it. So it actually reduces our trash from about 4 trash pools to 1. And able to save a little labor and cost as well. Anything else that I missed about things that are going on in the restaurant group?
It's a pretty good list.
All right, so let's get to questions, okay? We picked the questions that you submitted, sent to us, and tried to put them in succinct order for us so that we can just kind of understand where we're at and answer as many as possible. So, we want to start at the top. Yeah. So will we have time to go through all of them? Because it's
Probably not, but
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, I think some of them are kind of like you said.
Yeah.
One of the ones brought up about the Green Ready waffle maker, and I saw on the news, you guys have that
Yeah.
implemented
yeah,
now,
it's,
so.
it's there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It took a little bit because they had to build it for us and have the logo and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, totally. There's about 43 questions.
Right, and there's a few that kind of fall in together, so, and I mean, and essentially, if you just kind of touch, I mean, I think some of the initiatives that you have kind of touched base with some of these
Sure.
questions and stuff, so.
Yeah. And then, if we encourage anyone that has a specific question to just reach out to us through our WKU RG email. We get a few weekly and we try to respond. We do respond timely. And we've learned quite a few things, and it's really helped us stay in tune with both our students and faculty and staff and others that come to campus and know how to reach us.
One thing that I think hit on a couple of the questions, which I can ask kind of in a general, the free meal swipe that we get, is that's a partnership with WKU. That's not something Aramark is doing, right? Because you don't really have control if we can extend that for that, or we can get more. Or is that just the partnership?
Correct. And Dr. Roche, she is our contact on campus, and we work, daily through her and her office. I don't know if you want to respond to that or answer.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's pretty expensive to do 1 meal a month already. I think in the past, maybe it was more prior to my time here. And I know that we've discussed it, and it's kind of a split cost between the university and Aramark that kind of covers that. And so we've tried to see, and there really at this time isn't a place we're not at a place where we could offer more than that to increase it. So.
Right.
One of the things that we're trying to do, because I've had several folks ask about more, what can we do? So one of the things we're looking at doing is creating some type of faculty and staff discount in Fresh, because Fresh, we can do more because it's an Aramark restaurant. You know, when we get to our retail brands, we have to run everything through them and still have to pay, you know, our franchise fees for meals served and things like that. But we're just trying to look and see, you know, what we can do. You know, we've thought about maybe doing something, you know, on specific days, but, you know, you're not here every day, right? So we're trying to figure out, you know, what we can do. We do have our faculty and staff meal plans that, you know, the best one is sure it's the most expensive one because we can, you know, sell more meals at a time. I think the average $7.70 maybe.
Something like that, yes.
So that's a pretty good cost for all you carry eat meal and fresh.
Is that one that can be done payroll deduction, I think, right?
Yes,
And so
correct.
that's something that staff needs to be aware of, that, you know, if you wanted to discount it on there, that is something to look into and do the payroll deduction. And if you are gonna be on campus, if you eat more than once a week or even once every couple of weeks, it would probably be a really good benefit.
And it doesn't go away. So we have quite a few retirees that still come back and eat with us that, you know, are using their meals that they purchased. So it stays on the account and they can use it. Yep.
I want to back up a little bit. You said something about the other retail restaurants or whatever that are on campus that have to work with them to pay franchise fees and all that. Is that kind of a driving factor on why the free meal is only available to be used at Fresh and maybe not like getting a value meal at Subway or at Panda or whatever?
Correct, yeah, through Aramark, it's because, you know, we manage that, which there's not added cost, so you can think, you know, anywhere from 7 to 12% franchise fees that you pay on everything that you sell. They also don't like to give their food away. I still have to pay them for a free meal. So it benefits us to be able to offer something like that.
Restaurants up in Commons, like Rising Roll, is that an Aramark restaurant or is that some kind of franchise?
It's a regional franchise.
Okay, so so Fresh Food is like the only Aramark specific restaurant on campus?
We have Fresh Food, Red Zone, Da Vinci's, Spread down in Regents is one of ours.
Okay, so potentially if people on the top of the hill wanted to, if something could be worked out, like if they're, you know, up in Ogden or whatever, could they use their free meal at Da Vinci's instead of having to come all the way down to DSU?
Potentially, we can look at that. And I forgot about Road Trip America. That's one of ours that we could include that into that program if we can figure out how to do that. Okay.
I was just gonna add about the faculty staff meal plans. So if you have actually one of those meal plans, you can use those meals in Fresh, and then you can also use them at the other locations for any of the value meals as well.
Yeah,
so
what you
you've got that.
purchase are basically swipes,
Mhm.
value meal swipes, so.
So those do travel easily.
Okay.
Okay, so that answers quite a few. We've talked about, you know, when the meals expire, you know, each month. You know, the thought is you got 30 days. We have some folks that are there the first Tuesday of every month for Fried Chicken Day. And we understand that, right? I mean, it's a very popular meal and, you know, we prepare for it, so we're okay. But, you know, we do encourage, you know, when it first started, the thought is that, you know, if Aramark partnered with Western to provide this free meal, that, you know, they would come back and eat with us, you know, maybe once or twice a month. You know, I hear from some that they just take the free meal and run, but I'm okay with that. But, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, with that free meal, you see the food, you see the options and the things we're doing. I know we're not going to capture every faculty and staff eating with us every day. I'm trying to figure out how we can do that. And I know that's, you know, lower cost. But again, we'll discuss some more to see if that is an option. So it won't expire. Maybe it goes to, I don't know. There's a lot of things that we've discussed, but right now it will expire at the end of the month. And encourage, you know, your fellow faculty and staff to use their free meal. Okay,
One of the other questions too that was brought up a couple times was the Airmark catering. Do you guys get, how many waivers do you guys approve per year? Is it several or?
you know, I haven't counted them, but we've definitely approved more than in the past. If you're not aware, we do have a waiver form that you can complete, and it's on our website. If you just go to WKU, go to dining, it's across the top. It'll say contact us, and you just scroll down and there'll be two tabs, right? There's one that's the waiver, that you complete that, but then there's also catering exemption guidelines that we want anybody that's going to request something, review those, because those are guidelines that we have to follow. And we want to make sure that not only the person requesting it, but if they have a caterer that we allow or they bring food on, that they're aware of what the expectations that we and Western has. So we want to make sure that the food is from a reputable source, that it's handled properly, and then it's everyone that handling it is trained to make sure that it's safe. Because the last time we want is, you know, a foodborne illness to happen, and then all of a sudden, you know, Western's not doing it, and then Airmark's not doing it, but it would be perceived that Airmark and Western were the source of that foodborne illness. We just want to make sure everybody is following the same guidelines. But we've definitely approved more than in the past. You know, we do Airmark in the university, we do have a exclusive catering in our contract. And there is some rent that's shared to make sure that, you know, we pay for the use of the facilities. Okay. Anything specific that, in case we don't get to?
I've got something specific.
Yep.
I had kind of I love to eat, first of all. I had kind of a sad experience because I was up on top of the hill and I was needing to get some lunch, get something so I could eat it in the van and go to my next call. And I went into, I can't think of the name of it, Panda. And I couldn't find a place to place an order. And I talked to one of the young ladies back there and they won't accept cash. And I'm not an app guy. I'm not a, you know, that kind of person. And I couldn't even buy a meal there unless I went through some kind of app, which I didn't have time to stand there, nor am I going to use an app. Is there some way that you all could implement? And I've heard of other people getting frustrated by that too. Is there some way that if someone does want to go into one of those facilities, they can get some kind of meal ticket by putting cash in something so that they could go somewhere and order something, maybe the old fashioned way, or maybe I just need to break down and do that Grubhub thing or whatever it's called. But I'm not interested in putting my information in that kind of app. I'm just not interested in it. And maybe I'm a little old fashioned and I like to, if I walk up to a place, I want to be able to pay cash for a meal, then I want to be able to do that. Is there some kind of alternative you guys might be able to come up with other than having?
Well, we've been investigating that and working with Grubhub and working with Airmark and our IT group to try to help us with that. You know, when we decided to go mobile order a couple years ago, you know, COVID helped push us to that with Dining Sidekick. It was very successful, very well accepted by, you know, our students and kind of a mix with the staff and faculty. But, you know, when we look at it, when we went from standing in line or walking up to a cashier, we were, say Panda, we were doing about 350 to 400 transactions through that meal service. We went to mobile ordering, now we're doing over 600. So it's inconvenient for you, but now it's helped us serve, you know, an extra 200 students
Yeah, I
Lowe's
get
is
that.
even more so. We were doing less than 200 and now we're doing 600.
Are the meal plans, like if you bought a faculty staff meal plan, is that able to be integrated with the Grubhub app?
Absolutely.
And that's why the students like it, because it's on their car. I mean, they can use, their swipes, they can use their DV. Some of them will actually, download, their credit card or debit card. And use that, and their parents can manage it for them, make sure how it goes through. But yeah, we will definitely, we've been looking into it. They have, like at Road Trip America, they still take cash. Eiffel Pizza still takes cash. Spencer's, Rising Row, they're in the building. It's just Moe's and Panda that we're trying to find a solution for you.
So those are the primary two up there at Commons that use the app.
They use it. We do have it at Rising Row, but they're what we call a hybrid. You can walk up and order and pay cash, or the students can use their account, or you pay credit cards. And the same thing at Eiffel Pizza. They do the mobile order plus they take orders at the cash register.
Well, and I'm outside of my comfort zone asking this question, but what would be the possibility of putting like some kind of kiosk in there, just like you self-check out at the grocery stores, that you go up there, place an order, put your money in, get cash back, and then go ahead and put your food order in the queue?
And that's what we're looking into. We've got some information. It may be the fall before we get it in place. It's an investment for us to be able to do that. And that way it would tie both Panda and Moe's to where you could order hopefully off of one kiosk. And then maybe even the other restaurants as well. But they haven't been able to work that out for us yet.
I might have to break down and use the app, I guess. I don't know, I just.
Right?
Maybe I'm more
You use
old-fashioned.
the meal plan dollars, you would still have to go through the app, right? Like if you use the meal plan.
Not at Panda or Moe's.
Or Red Zone, you can't do it at Red Zone, it's a kiosk.
At Red Zone, you can just ask for a cashier, and they can take money and order it as well, but it's also self-serve. So that you walk up and use a credit card, or if you have money on your faculty staff account, you can pay it. So.
Question.
Will there be any restaurants open this summer other than Fresh?
We have normally had Rising Row open Monday through Thursday. Serves about 40 or 50 customers. And it just depends. Subway's been open a few times in the summer. Really what drives our restaurants being open is the amount of traffic on campus. Starbucks, our kiosk will be open as well. But yeah, what we try to have is, if we know traffic on campus and how many people are going to be here, we try to have the restaurants open. I didn't mention, we also are in the process of putting plans together to renovate Fresh Food Company. That's a huge task. And it will, we're looking at summer of 2026. But, we have a lot of camps and conferences, so we have to work through that as well as, we're just going to close down and remodel. So.
Can I recommend that you all trade with the bookstore?
I think we've said that a lot, haven't we?
I think that was originally planned, but I think the bookstore might even be on board with it now.
I'm sure Barnes and Noble would definitely say that. All right.
Is it possible to put your own, in other words, instead of buying a meal plan, is it possible to say, go in and put $30 cash on a meal ticket, so to speak, that you could use at Panda or something like that?
Do we still have dining dollars?
Yes, we have dining dollars, so you could go to the ID center and have them add however much money you want to onto your
So
ID
you
card.
could actually take $100 bill and go to the ID center and have them put it on that way. Okay, I'm learning all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
There, I think you get $10 as well, or $90. I think with $90, isn't there a discount, like a?
Yes, so if you're using dining dollars on campus, you're gonna get 11% discount. That is kind of an either or. You would not get your faculty staff 10% plus. So of course, the dining dollars is 1% better, so we would just give you that one. Big red dollars, they don't get that same discount. We accept them. They are still tax-free though, so you're still getting a little bit of a discount, but not the 11%.
So how would a person use that at Panda?
See the growth of
You'd
it.
have to use that.
Or the growth of it.
We're gonna see that. We're gonna use that app.
I mean, I use it and, you know, it works great. I mean, it tells me when, you know, pretty close to the time it's gonna be ready. You know, our team is put, just like when you order food, you know, I don't order food in the community. You guys may, whatever apps that you're using. But just, you know, it's all through their algorithms as to when the food will be ready and when it will be picked up and delivered to you. So, and ours, the good thing about Grubhub is that it's constantly recalculating those algorithms to keep up with time based on when it's ordered and when we're punching in it's ready. So it's always learning. It's been learning from day one. When we got started, it was awful because it really didn't know how our guests were ordering and picking up. But now it's really improved the growth of it.
Do you expect to see that, like, time cut down even more though? Because I think now it's still, I mean, a pretty long window for waiting. Because I mean, I think right now you just about, if you want to eat at lunchtime, you pretty much have to order when it opens at 10:30.
You got to beat the 150 students at 10:30.
For sure do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Tiffany can tell you, she oversees the commons. You know, it turns on at 10:30. By 10:45, we're probably 140 people deep. But again, if we weren't doing that, they'd be in line waiting. The students that I try to talk to and ask them, how do you like it? They love it. Sitting in class, shouldn't be ordering food, but that's what they're doing. And then they're just trying to make sure that, you know, they're getting out of class, they can get there, they get their food and they're gone versus waiting in line for, you know, 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
We did have a question with the chat. It said, I know we focus mostly on staff in the summer. Would it be possible for restaurants to have later hours for students to get food? Says the last two summer student can only get food from 11 to 2. Is Fresh open in the evening for summer?
It depends on, you know, how we're dealing with camps and conferences. Now, you know, and that's where, you know, our partners, you know, Elmaz and Donato's have helped us because they have their regular hours. And students can order through the app with them as well.
And they can use meal swipes there.
They can use their meal plan dollars, yeah. Or if they buy a summer plan, they can use those with them as well. And that just kind of helps us because there's, you know, maybe 40 students that are on campus through the summer.
Yeah. I have to check the number. I don't.
You know, hasn't been a big number for quite some time of students through the summer.
So it's okay. I didn't realize it was
But
really
you know, if, you know, that person that put it in the chat just wants to reach out to WK Restaurant, we can talk to them individually, see if there's any way that we can help them. Because we did, like I said, we don't have as many students, but there's some other things that we can discuss and figure out how we can support them if they're purchasing a meal plan or they have meal plan dollars, flex dollars, you know, from the spring. There's always some things that we can figure out how to do.
I think one of the questions too that was on there was, you know, updating the websites and about the apps and stuff. And I think it also plays a part that, you know, staff need to go out there and know who to go to. I think there's a distinction between who Airmark is and who WKU is. So I think, you know, by inviting you guys here and having you speak, that gives you the opportunity. And like you said, come on a yearly basis. I mean, I think that's great because sometimes, you know, I actually work at South Campus, so I'm kind of disconnected from the food services, and I didn't realize how many concerns were really out there. Cause, you know, it hasn't been brought up a lot, so it's important, because it's important to the staff members, and so.
Yeah, and we've, and you know, it's been a few years, but we toured South Campus, to see, you know, what kind of food dining we could bring. Can't remember who we spoke with now. But, you know, we talked about food trucks going into the little, cafe that was there. You know, we don't run vending, Canteen runs vending through Jennifer Tugas's office. So there might be some things that they can do. We do have some pretty cool, automated food machines, that we put at different places. We're also trying to look at the nursing complex downtown. How can we you know, get some food options down there? We looked at, campus Glasgow. And, just wasn't anything that we could help them with, but, you know, I think 5 Star came in and they're doing a few things over there. So there's always something if we just, you know,
Just
get
know
asked the
about
right
it.
question, yeah.
And that's, yeah, that makes sense. I'll have, cause CHS has just moved basically, cause I mean, 2 years ago, there was nothing at South Campus, so. But now with all of their community outreach programs, that might be something to look into, because I mean, they've moved all kinds of programs and more coming out there, so might be something to look into.
Yeah.
I did have one question about the dietitian. Is that something you guys provided for students? Is that something you all talk to staff members? Is that something that they can reach out to your office and, or is it more for students?
So yes, at this time, we just do free nutrition consultation services for students that are enrolled in classes. It can be undergraduate or graduate students. I know we've had quite a few graduate students take advantage of our services, but in the past, we did do faculty staff consultation services out of Preston, but since I've been here, we've kept it to students just because of the nature of how many students were taking advantage of that service. So at this time, just students.
Well, it's good to know that everyone who works with students, they can refer them, because if that becomes an issue, it seems like there was a few questions that were, you know, asked about nutrition and labels on dressings.
Yeah, so we're working on that. The next question, larger bows or at least bows on the salad bar. I'm guilty about getting one and making my salads. So I know Shannon and the team at Fresh are working on that. You know, we just don't have enough supplies at the moment to make sure we have enough over at the Power Bow Station, because that students, that's their most popular. So I would say in the next couple of weeks, you'll see bows as a choice for your salad bar choices, okay? Dressings, we are looking at those labels. We've tried a lot of different things. Some they don't look good. Trying to, you know, keep them fresh. So we're just trying to find a nice way where we've been able to keep all the dressings in the right slots pretty good. But now just trying to keep the labels with them, so.
About like the desserts, I know that was brought up. I mean, I've gone several times and I've seen cookies and brownies, but I've also gone and there's been really good desserts, you know, so how often, desserts are good, but I mean, so how often are those updated?
Quite often, you know, we do several things when we have special events. We are looking at, you know, updating and bringing new items to our menu in Fresh. Not just desserts, but, you know, the hotline and Mongolian grill. So yeah, so, you know, just getting this feedback. I know Chef Gill and Shanda have talked with their team, you know, trying to bring desserts that we can, I hate to use the word mass produce, but mass produce. You know, when you're serving, you know, 1,500 people, it's a lot of production. Cookies, yeah, even though we don't make them from our scratch, Aramark does work with a company that makes them specifically for us. Kind of like our own commissary kind of thing, so.
Friday, y'all had some kind of bar in there. I don't know what it was, but it's the best bar y'all have ever seen.
I think it was a cheesesteak marble bar.
So that
Was
must
it
be
what?
what it was.
Cheesesteak marble bar.
It's really good.
I agree, it was delicious.
It didn't have like a lot of cream cheese stuff in it.
But it was swirly or whatever.
I don't know. Anyways, I hope I see it again. I will say that I think the food in Fresh has been better in the past several years than it has been in the past, so.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but.
No, I mean, but you know, we need to hear those things. I mean, that's the only way we're going to improve. You know, we do have a lot of new employees over the past 3 years, a lot of, you know, I hate to say turnover, but we've had folks that have, you know, retired or moved on to other endeavors in their world. So Chef's got some new culinary folks that he's working with. Shana's got some, you know, new managers that she's working with. But yeah, we want to hear the good and the bad. I mean, the only way we can continuously get better is to hear all. And we do like to hear that, hey, that dessert was good. Okay, maybe we need to do a few more like that. Or, you know, if people are getting tired of cookies, you know, what else can we do? Our students don't get tired of cookies. We just don't want them to waste them. And see, you know, a stack of 4 or 5 coming through the dish machine, we're trying to think, okay, why is that? Did they not taste good? Did we not follow the recipe when we prepared something? Or did somebody just, I'm gonna take 6 and eat 2?
Are there any other questions here that we would like to have them address?
I'd like to give a shout out.
Okay.
I think I have a unique, because I know, because we work in the commons a lot, and so, you know, Tiffany and Jacob, and we see Robert almost every day too, and sometimes, behind the counter serving food. So, you know, they work hard and I think they do a great job, being consistent every day, so I just want to give a shout out.
And we'll share that with our team, because like I said, we've got 400+ employees that, you know, they make it happen. We're lucky enough to be here to support them, and you know, all of us, you know, even some of us aren't graduates of Western, but we've been here long enough where, you know, we believe the right red, and want to make sure that we're taking care of our students. We did have someone that joined us. Morgan Frank is our director at catering. Morgan joined us back in December, and she's working hard with that team, elevating the services that we provide. So what's a question about catering, about discounts for staff? And I wanted to follow, is that personal or is it more related to business catering on campus?
I'm not sure, because they came in anonymously.
Yeah, so we're looking at both of those. You know, Aramark's got several catering programs, so we're looking at, you know, how can we do a tiered approach so that we can do some things and, you know, more basic that we do, you know, to lower our cost to operate it. You know, I get frustrated when people compare our prices to going to Sam's and buying stuff, because it's not the same, right? I mean, we're all inclusive. We're going to bring it to you. We're going to set it up. We're going to serve it. We're going to break it down. We're going to clean it up, leave it placed just like it was. You don't have to do anything. If you go to Sam's, you're just buying the food product, all the same price, you know, that I'm buying it. But I've got labor to do all of that. I got equipment that we're paying for, things like that. So it's not a true comparison, but we try to do the best we can if someone is asking us to help them out. We understand budgets and constraints and the shrinking of those.
Well, I mean, we appreciate you taking time to come out. I think you got to quite a few of the questions. There was a lot. If there's anyone out there that we did not get to answer your question, please feel free to reach out to Aramark. We've opened up the door and we appreciate you providing, you know, some more information and giving us a background. It sounds like there's a lot of good things going on right now, and look forward to continue working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you in the comments soon.
Okay, we will go ahead and get started with our reports, committee reports. Staff region, Hammonds.
Sorry, I said I'm here today because I had to slip out here just a minute to get to the photo.
Okay.
I'm sure how long we were gonna. There was a board meeting, February 14th for Valentine's Day, and it took up most of Valentine's Day, I think. It was the first time we had had a committee meeting in the morning and then the quarterly in the afternoon. And so there was closed session, right off the bat in committee meeting, which, went fairly long, into before we ever got to any committee meeting. So, academic affairs had the typical, new programs being, approved, nothing, out of the ordinary, bachelor's degree, user experience, couple undergrad certificates, sabbatical approvals, and then the same for university, the same with professors, so we typically have usually every meeting. An announcement that they were opening our NWSM program, one of the things I'm sure is off campus will be getting back there, maybe, it might be down at the actual med center location. I don't know where she said they were gonna put that. And then the reminder that SACs will be on campus, next week. So they get the word update for that. So our accreditation, people will be on campus next week, so just keep in mind, they can always ask to speak to anyone on campus, so. Are you on the list or anything for Sassen?
Nope, not yet.
Budget and finance, auditor's report for, the KU TV, radio, those sort of things, and then one for NCAA clients. It's not one that, it just says what they're gonna actually have to monitor and those things. It's not actually their budget report, like what you would see for their actual financials. And then our statement of revenue, I don't know if Susan's still on, but there wasn't anything that we didn't typically expect to see at this time of year. I think our spending might have been slightly ahead, but nothing that we are concerned about at the moment. She could, if there was anything question wise, we can ask her. Student affairs has not had anything, and so that was most of the day. And then the legislative update from Jennifer Smith, which may be something we may want to think about in the next little bit, is having her soon and give an update to staff senate. There's been a lot of updates and changes happening. We know there is a meeting in Frankfurt today, and so that will have a lot of outcome probably that she'll report back. There probably will be anything that happens that she'll report to campus, but if there's any impact for us, we might want to think about having her come. And then everything that was approved in committee was then immediately approved in the afternoon. So I think it lasted till about 2:30 or so. It was a pretty long day. So anyway, happy to take any questions, but pretty quiet otherwise, and we won't meet again until May. So it's a really long break now in between the February meeting until we meet again in May.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Deanna?
No.
Treasurer, Miss Henry.
Our monthly report with the state of affairs and our indexes and foundation accounts. Our ENG index starting balance $3,493.24, no additions, no disbursements, ending balance $2,493.24. Our staff Senate Excellence Fund starting balance $2,250.12, additions of $15, no disbursements, ending balance of $2,230.12. Our book scholarship starting balance $1,909.84, additions of $15, no disbursements, ending balance $1,924.84. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Senator Ray?
No report.
Senator Moran?
No report.
Vice Chair Vanderpool?
No report.
Okay, that leaves me. The Budget Executive Committee met yesterday. We got an application and yield update from John Mark Francis. They're continuing to work on recruitment and applications. Currently, we are up 4.2% with 324 additional students admitted for the fall. that, so they are trending forward, which is important because like when we met with Susan, enrollment is so important. We are all recruiters and it's important to make sure we are getting those enrollment numbers. We also had a budget development update, with Ronaldo Demone, and he shared information, however, no actions were taken. I did meet with the president on the 24th and talked to him about Airmark coming. He was supportive of that. He will be able to attend our, as of right now, our spring meet and greet. He will be a guest. We haven't asked him to speak or anything. He does have one of his employees that's being recognized at the meet and greet. I did bring up the concerns with the Sodexo contract, and he said they are continuing to look at that and make different evaluations. I did forward you guys the email that we received from HR about the staff ombudsman. I did receive some updates. Do we have any discussions that we need to talk about? Or was there any more suggestions before I forward the comments to HR? Yeah, I think this is good. I mean, like I was telling you guys, it does mirror the faculty ombudsman's role. And then I think, Jordan, when you brought up, you found that information about it reporting to the highest. We may need to ask them if they need to reword that. I think Leslie, you had said something about at the discretion of that. So I'll take the comments that you all gave me and I will send that to HR. And then I think, I'm assuming before the final thing is, I'll ask her if Staff Senate can actually vote on that as well and make that, be a partnership with HR. Let's see, Micah Logan, with CITL, reached out. She was asked by the provost if there was any interest in an additional staff professional development day. They are looking at maybe doing one this summer, kind of the one that mirrors the one in January. It would be more of a half a day event. One thing that I was kind of excited about was that in our staff engagement survey, one thing that we do hear a lot is they want professional development, they want opportunities, they want more staff coming together. I wonder, and she's reached out to HR as well. Is there something like, I mean, obviously with summer, we all have different schedules, we have vacations, so they are gonna know, it's not gonna hit everyone. Kind of like in the January term, that's one where a lot of the student servicing, like our area is super busy in January and it's hard to do a PD day, so I think they're just kind of trying to get a feel, to see if that would be an option, because it is an investment, because typically they do the sessions and they also provide lunch for the staff members that are able to attend. I think it'd be a great opportunity also to kind of have that PD day where we set up tables and kind of promote our areas. I did have a question for like your facilities. Is there something that, I mean, I know you guys kind of do some professional development within Sodexo. Do they require those kind of professional development? No, they don't. Is there things that would be more, because you're not sitting at a desk all day, you're not going to benefit from maybe the student service side. Are there different things that your team would benefit from? I mean, like teamwork, building, leadership skill. I mean, what kind of, just because I feel that your all's area is a little bit different than typically I sit in an office all day and, I'm a supervisor. Well, you're a supervisor too, but I don't know. Is there something that you guys would benefit from professional development?
I don't really know. As far as professional development, and like me and Ben, I do 12 hours of continuing ed a year, so I consider that my professional development. I just don't know of anything else. Facilities used to have a program in place, but it got implemented just about as quick as it was implemented. So there's not really been any talk of wanting anything, I guess.
I mean, I think even though, I know in some of the leadership things we've done, like the DISC training where you find your personality, because especially if you're working with a diverse set of people, it's kind of nice to know, it's like, hey, this is how I function, or this is, so there are skill sets. There's, working with different people or even finding some of the information how to fill out HR forms. You know, HR is a big component of some of these professional development, but I just know that there's a lot of people out there that want to see more development. So, and if something that Staff Senate can support, we can also get our name out there and maybe even have a session about Senate and what we do and how we can grow it, because that was something that was, you know, in our survey, that was something that was like, well, we need more community. And, so I definitely, I mean, would people be able to come during summer? I mean, staff members, you know, like a half a day event and stuff, or?
I suggest a session on CPR and first aid training.
Okay, that would be, yeah, that's something, yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, because we have trainers here on campus yeah, that's good. And that was something too, is like, you know, when I spoke to Micah, because she, was the one that was being in charge of it, because the provost was supporting it, and I appreciate that, because sometimes the provost office is so faculty centered that sometimes they forget the staff part. And I was asking if they could be more, like, we could almost recruit the sessions so they're meaningful, because sometimes like some of the sessions have anything to do with us, you know, and so why attend? So if we could get meaningful sessions that would actually be beneficial.
Perhaps you could send out a survey about like what kind of things would you want to see if we did a staff focused PD day? And that way we could maybe curate the sessions a bit more, so they are more about, because like I said, some are geared more towards faculty than staff, or, you know, and then we could really tailor it so we have more interest in more sessions.
Right, yeah, and that was one thing I did explain to her, that, you know, the one in the spring, it's very, my staff goes to it and I'll usually watch The Office, but there are some good sessions, but a lot of them are very faculty centered. And with it being summer, faculty, there may be a couple on campus, but most likely it's gonna be more staff centered, so it would be more geared towards helping staff and do that professional development. Okay, I'll let her know that there's interest, and I think, I mean, it would be, you know, if she has more partners like HR, Senate, and them, that would be beneficial.
I would also suggest maybe some holistic development in that, like maybe some mental health or self-care, just, you know, as employees, I think we forget that, and then we are better for the students and the other people we're working around. So I think just something that lines up with that would be good too.
Maybe something that could be a session focused for new staff.
New staff, oh yeah, for
So
sure.
you can roll a little onboarding type stuff.
Oh yeah, because that would give them a chance to come and maybe meet other people.
Yeah.
Hey, Rhonda, I will do a plug. We are actually having a session next Wednesday with the online, and we are gonna hit like holistic self-care for not just the students, so you should come, or anyone else should come. It's through CITM, so.
Maybe a little early for, think about, I mean, not that everybody would be already thinking about their open enrollment, but why would they not? just invite
Benefits.
the benefits people to come?
Yeah, benefits would be huge, for sure. Yeah, because they don't do that meet and greet for the benefits anymore. If they had a session, that would be, and it really, I mean, if they did it in July, you really need to start thinking early. I mean, you've got to know.
How your last year went, kind of.
Right, a little bit, right, cool. Okay, well, I will reach out to her and let her know, and I think that will be awesome. I did the spring elections, and we still don't have set dates. I will talk to the executive committee next week and have set dates for the spring elections and determine how many of the seats need to be filled, and I will email you all that information. A few weeks ago, I was invited to speak to the group of staff leadership just to share Staff Senate, let them know what we're doing, and encourage them to apply to become senators, because we need all the people we can get. So that is all my report for now. We will move on to old business. The spring meet and greet is next week at downstairs in night class. We had 81 people that were being recognized, and we have 30 staff members who said they are going to attend. And a lot of their supervisors, we did this year notify the supervisors, so we should have the supervisors as well. If you could try to wear your Staff Senate shirt, that'd be awesome, so that we can be recognized. And last fall, you guys did a great job with mingling, telling people about that, and it kind of gives them a chance to talk to us, not in such a formal setting. So I appreciate you all that can be there next week. So I talked about the elections and then any other old business? Okay, so for new business, Andrea and I and this, or the finance committee, correct? Yeah, have been talking about the, money. And do you want to talk about maybe what's on your plate?
Oh, I mean, sure. So our staff budget, we get $3,700 a year. It doesn't carry forward what we can get in the 3,700 every year. Apparently this is new. I did not know. We spent our balance is basically 3,500. We spent $200 of it so far. And we were thinking to restock up our towels. And, some of that is already set aside for the workshop lunch at the end of the semester, here for the new senators. And then also some of that is set aside for the meeting and greet next week. But that still leaves us quite a bit of money, $1,300 that we could use for other things. Tanya was thinking something philanthropic where we could do something to benefit students or something here on campus where we could benefit anybody that, will need help. There are limitations on how you can spend E&G funds, so. E&G means it's state funds. It's not a foundation account, so you can't, there's a lot of limitations on what you can and can't do with it. Philanthropically, like we can't just give out gift certificates or something like that. That's not an approved expenditure. But we did want to open up the floor, I guess, to any ideas some of them might have or any that we see on campus that maybe we could fill.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, not a philanthropic idea, but I'm not running low, but we could probably use more frames.
Frames, okay, yeah.
Yes, I did ask about frames. I will say that as part of cleaning out GSCB, I've come across a big old box of frames that I was gonna donate to Staff Senate, but I would still recommend buying some more.
Okay.
So that is an excellent, I mentioned it in the email and then, yeah, some more frames, definitely.
I do.
That Martha mentioned blue books and scantrons when she was here.
That is, something I was I had been thinking about a little bit. So the way GSCB handles scantrons now, and this, but I don't know if this is campus wide, right? It could just be our college. Each department buys their own scantrons and then the professors give them out to their students. What we have also been doing for the last academic year is if a student comes by, like say my office and needs a scantron, we just give them one for free. I also know that students can get free scantrons down here at DSU. I forget where student services, I think.
That would Dr. Sales' office?
Yeah.
Probably, okay.
But I mean, that is an approved expenditure of E&G funds. We could buy something like that, that students could stop by and get for free.
We have scantrons in the library too.
Yeah.
That you donate?
But we do not have.
Yeah, the blue book honestly would probably be a bigger.
Do people use blue?
Oh, yeah, accounting uses blue books.
Oh,
and
okay.
GSCB, and Potter uses a ton.
Hmm.
But I mean,
That
that's
might
just
be-
another thing that we could have available, I have a little sign saying, from.
Right, because we can even bring it to like Potter Hall. I mean, bring some down here too, but if it's a Potter area, I mean, sometimes people aren't down here at DS. Yeah, we could do.
That's because we do that for the scantrons that we get from SGA. So just, if we want to.
So before we start thinking about some more different ideas, I will give you, in the past, like she was saying, from my understanding, I don't know when this fund started. When we were under Deborah Wilkins' area, she covered, and we didn't have a budget. She covered the fall break brunch, she paid for the meal plans, she paid for any shirts that we ordered, so we never had a budget. I don't know exactly when the budget was, it's only been within the last few years, is my understanding. But one year they did do the upgrade to the sound system in here, we spent money on that. 2 years ago, we did buy a plethora of we spent like $1,200 on fresh food passes, that was gonna be for the mentor program, we were trying to use the money as well. And now that we are using the meal plans for the meet and greets, that is something that will factor into the amount of money as well. But I do want to go ahead and try to do a motion to approve the spending for the red towels. If you can tell us the amount, Andrea?
I originally had gotten a quote for 1,500 and then another one for 1,300. But I agreed with Ray, or actually I think maybe it was her, that, you know, going ahead and spending $1,500, that was 440 more towels that we could add to our stash, because they're nice and people do like getting them at our events. So.
And since we're sending them out today, yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the ordering of 420 towels at, right?
1,500, it was like 1493. I asked my rep to just get it as close with shipping and everything.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so it's been approved to purchase the red towels. We also will go ahead and make a motion to reserve, at the end of at the June meeting, with our last meeting for the year, we will do a lunch. We'll figure out where we're gonna go and all that stuff, but I wanna go ahead and make a motion to approve around $500 for that lunch. Can I get a second? Okay, any discussion on that?
Jim would like for it to be on a Tuesday, fresh food.
Is that when that dessert is there?
No, it's-
Oh, that's fried chicken.
Fried
Okay.
chicken.
Okay, okay, so everyone that approves that, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay, so it's been approved that we have $500 to spend, so we've got that money taken care of.
Yeah, that still leaves, about, yeah, like I said, 1,100-ish for us to, and I will price out more frames. And I want to look at somebody, you mentioned the new seniors, they will need shirts.
Mhm.
I'm going to make sure that we set aside money for shirts for that as well.
Okay, right, should probably just a couple $100.
Mhm.
Okay. So we don't have, since it's been a long meeting, we don't have to decide where this money is coming from now, but if you guys can send some information, if you can think of some ideas, I love the blue books, I love the ideas of, if we can, I think in that policy, it does say you can buy meals for residents of hall, like dorms and stuff. That was kind of like what they were talking about, donating meal plans to the, to Dr. Sales area, or if HRL does it too, if it's something we can do like an inner account, and if they're gonna change their meal plan swipes, where instead of they're just giving them that, they actually give the student that, so that's something we can look into, and I just brought that, up, because I wanna be sure if we could spend, I don't wanna just spend our money just to spend it, but if there's anything that we can spend it on, especially, I just noticed that SGA does a lot, which they're student government, and I get that, but I think and if we can find a way to, I guess Dr., is it Roche or whatever, if there's staff that have food insecurity too as well, if we can find a way to have staff plans.
I know Dr. North is the one that's.
Dr.
in charge of
North?
The food pantry. for
Okay.
students. Can we do something?
Yeah, can we buy groceries? I know that'd be
Is
awesome.
that an allowable expense?
Um,
According to their website, they also take monetary donations.
I
But
mean,
I don't know if the funds that the staff's gonna
Yeah,
have.
right, I
can
don't know if we can do that, but also maybe we could see about at some point doing like a food drive or something.
a food drive is probably the best bet. I'm looking at the FB right now. It's very particular about
Yeah.
monetary spending or state funds for meals and meals.
Oh,
For state funds, it's usually just no.
okay.
Most things are through foundation when it comes to meals.
That's one thing, it's kind of late now for our meet and greet next week, but when we used to do the fall break brunch, we would always request cans, and we would give them an extra, like for the door prizes, they would get an extra thing if they brought in 5 canned goods. So maybe for the fall meet and greet, we can encourage canned goods, and we could do that's perfect, that would be a way. Cause if we're gonna do the little door prizes, they could get an extra thing if they brought in 5 cans or 5 food things, so that would be another way we could do something. Instead, if we're not allowed to donate but it'd be really nice if we could do
It
something.
would be nice, but yeah, like I said, the ENG is super specific.
Right, of course. Okay, so if you all can think about that before our next meeting and kind of get some ideas, or if you have some ideas that pop up, send us an email. And then we'll try to figure out cause it'll be April by the next time we meet, and so our years is going fast. Any other new business? Okay, any other announcement or public comment? Okay, the next staff meeting will be on April 2nd at 10 a.m. I do need to talk to you, Andrea. Right now, we have finance that was gonna come. I do have HR, that was the only day they could come to, but we can figure that out, or
Okay.
maybe they could come to our May meeting, but we'll figure that out. I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, I think the finance was only gonna be like 20 minutes or whatever, so.
Yeah, well, they're willing to come whenever.
Okay,
It's just nice that we have that available
yes,
for students
Oh, yeah.
and staff review, so
for sure.
they're willing to come anytime. They really like what we did last time with the survey,
Mhm.
so we send that in
Right.
April for them to answer in May.
Okay, yeah, I'll email you and ask him if they can come May, if not, we can still have two guest speakers, it just makes it long, cause I feel HR is gonna get a lot of questions.
Yeah, problem.
Yeah, cool. Okay, anything else? Okay, we will call the meeting at 11:30. Thank you all, for being here, and I appreciate everything. We will see you next Tuesday.